So what is the receptor that is most responsible for generating the stretch reflex? Okay, it's not a trick question.
Golgi tendon organ?
No. Okay, what receptors detect stretch?
The muscle spindle?
Thank you. Muscle spindles, okay? Muscle spindles' job in our body is to detect stretch or changes in muscle length. Okay, so they are the receptor most associated with the stretch reflex. Okay, that information from the spindles is what causes the stretch reflex to occur. I have to have that afferent information, or that sensory input from the spindles that says, basically, I'm being stretched, that causes the stretch reflex to occur. Okay, so how does that happen? Okay, I have a little muscle spindle connected what? In parallel with the extrafusal fibers. So that's represented by here, by this spindle itself with an axon kind of wrapped all around it. Okay. We've gone through this reflex really early in September, might even have been in August, when we talked about the different components, the physical pieces that would make up a reflex. So here's our receptor, and then what is this right here? All right, so that's an axon that carries afferent information. And afferent information is what? Sensory information going to the spinal cord. Okay, so that's what afferent information is. So that's here. Then we talked about reflexes need integrators to take information and make some decisions about it. That's what we have here in the spinal cord. And then we have what right here? A bunch of alpha motor neurons which become stimulated. And what is this axon? What type of axon is this? So efferent, right, with the E, which efferent is always out from the central nervous system, usually a motor response, particularly for us because we're interested in movement. So we've got an efferent axon traveling back to what? Extrafusal fibers. And what is that signal that's traveling down this efferent axon going to do to the muscle? What's it going to cause this muscle to... Right, it's going to cause this muscle to contract. Okay, so the stretch reflex is the most basic of all reflexes, the simplest reflex. Starts with stretch, that's detected by the muscle spindle. The muscle spindle becomes excited, sends an action potential, synapses on alpha motor neurons in the spinal cord. Those alpha motor neurons become excited, send an excitatory signal down to the muscle, and that causes the muscle to contract. Okay, when you get the contraction, then you generate enough force, you get movement. Okay, in our example with the knee, you get knee extension because the quadricep muscles have contracted. Okay, any questions about that? So that's what the stretch reflex is, and is triggered by or initiated by stretch of the muscles. Okay, and so that's the motor component that muscle spindles have. As sensory receptors, this is a unique function. Okay, they have in a sense a direct, well, not in a sense, in a real physiological sense, a direct connection with the motor side of the system. So we have sensory input, immediately synapses on the motor output, and goes to the muscle. Okay, no other sensory receptors by themselves can generate a motor response.